This is Erodo Jumbo. In this tutorial, we're going to do part 2 of the JavaScript fitness calculator. We're actually going to do the computation. So that's all JavaScript today. Before we begin, quick reminder that every day I host a live stream. So what you do is you visit ojumbo.com, you go to the watch menu, the live sub menu, you can see this current live stream is called JavaScript Fitness Calculator Computation. The channel it's going to be on approximate day and time, and these are the post-dated tutorial topics for future live streams. And you can see each of those topics. There will be about 3 paragraphs to tell you the day, the time. It's always going to be Eastern time, and you're free to ask any programming related topics in the live chat. And the link for the live chat is on the channel. It'll be here. Just click this, and then you can go and log in, and you can ask your questions or requests, and I'll be able to answer them during the live stream. If you don't want to do that, you can watch the video. You can also scroll down in this article. You'll see a video. It's an embedded video. You can watch it. So this calculator is a fitness estimation. So we're going to calculate the basal metabolic rate, the BMR, the multiplying it by an activity factor. There's also going to be a BMI, body mass index, based on the height and weight to estimate the body fat percentage. And there's going to be a waist to height ratio. That's WHTR. That's calculated by dividing your waist circumference by your height, both measured in the same units. So, for example, if it's inches, it's all inches. If it's centimeters, it's centimeters. And also, we're going to also have a standard, which is inches and pounds, and metric, which will be centimeters and kilograms. And here's a glossary if you don't understand what all this means. So the activity factor is an example. It's how active a person is. And I said there's a metric system, and that's an international decimal measurement unit based on meter for length and kilogram for mass. And obviously the standard, this is, as I said before, inches and pounds. And of course, the other form elements, we're going to use a form here. So we'll get the gender, the measurement system. This is the metric or the other one, the age, the weight, height, and waist. So it's all in here. Here's examples. And the code is going to be here for HTML form, and here's for the JavaScript. So basically, this is what it looks like. We create some form elements. You can see here there's a gender. You pick whether it's metric or standard. There's the age. And then you pick the weight, height, waist. And then you choose the activity level. Then you click calculate. And there's also a reset button. Reset button just basically clears everything. And calculate, obviously, we'll do the calculation. So you see here in the menu, there's under fun, there's a fitness calculator. So this calculator, all the calculations are done in PHP. So the reason I originally created in PHP was because some people would disable JavaScript. So I wanted the calculator to still work. So these days, I want to simplify it, so everything's going to be done in JavaScript. And also, I intend in a future tutorial to convert this into an app you can install on your devices. It could be a phone, it could be obviously desktop, anything like that as well. Okay, and then this is the styled. So I didn't style it too much. I just did enough styling so it looks much better than this. And the reason for this is because obviously when I put it here, when I replace this one, let's go take a look at this one here. You see this one, it will probably pick up some of the site styles. So that's why I didn't style it too much, because I know it will pick up these styles as well. Okay, and then you can see here's the calculations. When you click calculate, after you enter the input, it comes here. And this is in metric system. And this one is a standard system, which was the inches one. And of course, this is the video I promised you, which is a live stream. So for example, if I press play right now, okay, and then as you just saw, this is the actual live stream of this current live right now. Okay, so to follow along with this tutorial, you need some type of IDE. I'm going to use Apache NetBeans, but you can use any text editor, and I have the code snippet for you there. And if you don't know anything about JavaScript, I have a JavaScript course on ojamboshop.com. So you just click this link here, and then as you can see, it also has a web IDE, so you can follow along there. If you, so you can see here, you just add it to your cart, and then just pay the amount, and it will, as you can see, some of the screenshots here, you see, it comes with a syntax highlighting here for each of the lessons, and then you see here you have the code IDE. So as you see there, you can actually type in. It also has number lines, and then you just press the compile button, and then it will output your code for you. As you can see here at the bottom, you see the output. It put it out there for you. Okay, so with that out of the way, yeah, so we also need obviously a web browser, and JavaScript, as I said, follows the MScript standard. That's licensed under the W3 software license. It's a permissive license. CSS is also maintained by the World Wide Web Consortium. That's the W3C here. Obviously, it's also licensed under the same license, and it's also permissive. Okay, now let's get this out of the way. Let's minimize this, and I'm going to open up NetBeans here. I'm going to zoom in. It's Alt key. So as you can see here, I call it fitness calculator, and this is a style. We did this in a previous tutorial. I just styled it. This is very basic styling. I'll actually add more styles when I create it into an app, or put it actually on the website, which I hopefully to do in the next tutorial on this series. So as you can see, he's just a form, and I have a select drop down, some options here, and this is a little trick. I'll explain this how this works. Basically, you see the first option, it's empty, and it says choose gender. Then you can pick your male and female. The reason for this is because if it's not an input box, for example, you see this one here, you can put a place order. With select drop downs, there's no place order, so you need to come up with little tricks to do the same thing. And now for the measurement, I'm defaulting to metric. Obviously, I can easily swap it to standard. So this one, I didn't do the same trick here because it's one of the other. This one I let you pick male or female because I don't know. Obviously, the age, it's just an input box here, and I used the number type. And obviously, you can see for ages, I did some investigation, and I found out that this is obviously in years, but the maximum age a person has ever lived, I think, was 160. So obviously, I don't think anybody's going to live more than 160 is what I'm getting at. So obviously, you can put up whatever number you want in there. And then here for the weight, you might say, well, that's a very big weight. Well, the reason is because remember, this is also going to be for metric and standard. So 2,000 pounds. I think there was a guy when I was a teenager, he actually came pretty close to up there in pounds. Obviously, I don't think anybody would ever be like 200 kilograms, right? So that's why I made it a pretty big. And then for the height, I think this might be a little bit too high because I think this is in inches. I'll check that in a second. So I don't think anybody's going to be 1,000 inches. And centimeters, yeah, that one is also, but I think that was way too much. I should probably drop that down, but there you go. And then for the waist, I put 1,000. I think I just copy pasted this one, so put it there. That's going to either be centimeters or inches. And activity, pretty simple. We have sedentary, light, moderate, active, and extreme. And you can see examples here. And then finally, there's the buttons. One is to submit, obviously submit the form, and the other one is to reset. The reset button, you don't have to do anything. It will automatically clear whatever the person has inputted or selected. So for example, here, this one, it will be, let's say I picked male. When I hit reset, it's going to go to the first one because you see that's the one that's selected. I will choose, it say choose gender. And then of course, the reason we're here today is for the JavaScript. So let's begin. Oh, let me show you the form first. So I'll open up a browser here. browser opening up. Oh, here it is. I'm opening up Chromium browser. So I'll just drag and drop this fitness calculator. Okay, there you go. So this is the fitness calculator. See, it's been that's what it is. This is where we left off last time. So as I was saying, for example, if I choose a gender here, I choose female. If I hit reset, you see it will reset everything here. For example, if I put an age in here, 34 or whatever, if I hit reset, you see this has nothing to do with JavaScript. This will automatically remove it and clear all the fields which are there. For example, if I pick this one, I pick very active. Again, if I hit reset, you can see it went back to sedentary. Okay, with that out of the way, let's go back to our code here. Let's begin. So I want this to auto start. So this is we did a dedicated lesson for this in my Learning JavaScript series. Okay, and I want it to start, as I said. So that's how you get it to auto start or auto run. Okay, now let's what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable called matrix, and this will be for the weight. So here matrix, you see the weight, it's going to be in kilograms, the height is going to be in centimeters, and the waist is going to be in centimeters. So what I'm going to do is, because if we go back to the form here, you see even though it says matrix, the person won't understand that, for example, the weight, is it in kilograms, is it in grams, so is it both? So I want to give them an indicator that it's in, for example, in kilograms. So that's what this part is here for. And obviously there's also standard. So standards, it's going to be in pounds. Now I could have used the abbreviation for pounds, but I found that that might be confusing. For example, with inches, is it like the double quotes or is it IN? So I just wrote the name out here. I could probably do the same thing for kilograms, centimeters, and I'll show you what that looks like later. So next, the activities. I could have basically assigned a number. I think that might be something I should do in the future. I should probably assign a number to them. The reason I didn't assign, I could have easily put numbers in here. The reason I didn't do that is because I also need to know, because when you do the calculations, I will need to know if it's sedentary, because the calculations are slightly different when you do them. So maybe I could have put a data value here. I guess I could do that as well. Oh, that's actually not a bad idea. Maybe I'll do that in the future. So instead of doing it here, I could just put a data value for the matrix, and yeah. But I think this is just easier because everything's going to be JavaScript anyway. And then for the BMI, we need ranges. So this doesn't matter if it's metric or standard. So you can see with the BMI, we have 0 to 8.4. We have, if you're underweight, 18.5 to 24.9. Oh, sorry, wrong. Sorry. The underweight is less than 18.4. Normal is 18.5 to 24.9, and then overweight is 25 to just below 30, and then if you're over 30 to below 40, you're obese, and if you're over 40, you're moderately obese. Now you notice here I put 40. It's actually 40 plus, but I put 100 because I don't think anybody's going to have, at least at the time of this recording, I don't think anybody has a BI range of over 100, but if it is, you can just change that as well. All right, so then for the waist to height ratio, this one again has nothing to do with the matrix or standard because it will still come out the same way. You can see here if you're less than 53.5, you're considered healthy. If you're more than 53.6 but below 58.5, you're increased risk, and if you're above 58.6, you're substantial. The risk could be substantial. Okay, then we have the one for. So this one is for the matrix, and this one is for the standard. So basically meters and feet, and you can see the ratios are slightly different, but almost the same. Okay, next we have our output. So we have our output here, and I just call it a div here. So basically I just selected it, so because when you click calculate, it's just going to dump everything in here. All right, now we can actually create our first measurement. So to set the measurements, so what I do here is I created a little function, this one here. So what it does is it gets the measures. You see this one, weight, height, and waist. So this one here, the MS, that could be either metric or standard. That's what it means. So for example, then it will set it. So it will say if MS equals matrix, then it will use the matrix, this one here. Otherwise, it will use the standard. There's only two types. And then what it will do is it will use the for each loop. Well, I've done this tutorial on the for each loops in the Learning JavaScript series. And then obviously it will go, for example, you see this names here, weight, height, waist. If we go back to our form, you see the form also has, it says fit, age, fit, weight, fit height, and fit waist. So this one here, when you do the query select, it will know which one to select. It will grab the label, and then from the label, it will set the attribute, set measurement. It's obviously it's not here, but it will set the measurement there, and then that's what it will do. So then in our you see here in our line 25 here in our CSS, so this label, if the label has a data measurement, then it will use the pseudo selector after. It will take the content, which will be the attribute data measurement value, and then it will put it there. You see the margin left, absolute, and top and right here. So that's what that does. I'm still in the basics, but does this have a job? I'm confused. Geshin, I'm still in the basics, but does this have a job? Yes, of course. Of course, you can get a job for this because this is a showcase of what skills for HTML, CSS. Oops. I'm just replying. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, so back to where I was. So this will set the measurement, and then we can actually test this right now. I'll show it to you, so make sure it works. So if we go down here, set measurement. So this is going to run. So if we go back here now, and if I change this to say standard, oops, what happened? Did I make a mistake? Let's make sure I didn't make a mistake. That's weird. I don't know why it didn't run. Set measurement should have run. Maybe try one more time. Oh, here we go. I didn't see it. Yeah. So you see kilogram, centimeter, centimeter. And for example, if I change it to standard, you see I don't know why that didn't change. Huh, that's weird. I think something is wrong here. Let's change this to standard. Oh, I know why. I haven't added that functionality yet. This is just the first one. Sorry. Yeah. See, it set it to default, which is the metric. I haven't set the other functions yet. So let me go through those functions. There's quite a few of them. So this function gets the value. So for example, any of these ones, like you get the value of this, the input, and select, and all that. That's what that does. This one in range, this is a function I showed you before in a previous tutorial when we did the chicken webcam, how to load up a JSON file and grab the data. So basically, if you see these are ranges, right? Like for example, see this BMI, it's between 1 and 18.4. So that's what this function does. It basically it splits the two values. That's why they see there's always two values. So it split the two values, and then it will, for example, let's say the BMI is 18. So by splitting these two values, what it does is it will check to see if, for example, 18. You see in this place, it will say is n, which is 18, is 18 greater than or equal to range 1. So 18 will be greater than 1. That's correct. And then it will say is n, 18, less than 18.4, and that's true. So this will return true. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's move on to our function to calculate the BMI. Okay, this function calculates the BMI. Is check BMI. So we take a number, and what we do is we check the ranges, and you see we run this function in range. You see this one here, so that's what it does, and then it will return the value, and also to return the ranges. So what that means is that in this particular, all these are ranges, but if there was a value, for example, for just 40, it will also be able to return that by itself. Hello, Mohit. Okay, so I'm just checking in the chat there. So next we're going to calculate the waist to height ratio. So for the waist to height ratio, that also depends not just on the number but also on your gender. So you see here it says if the gender is male, and I'm using 3 equal signs here because that's a strict. You can also use 2, but you should use 3. That's to make sure that it's only one of those values, male or female. And you see to check the M for male, F for female. Remember these values here. So this value is the M for male, and this is for female. So that's why you notice the male values are for healthy are obviously higher than the ones for female. And for example, we go here to the substantial risk. You see for the male it starts at 58.6, but the female is only 54.1. Remember, these are all estimates. They're that's why I call it a fitness estimator. I don't call it a calculator because some of these values are not, obviously if you're fit, that's why we have to calculate different things depending on how fit your fitness level. I'll give you an example. When I was younger, I was very fit. I used to work out, and I think my BMI was probably 18. So according to this, I would have been underweight, which was crazy because right now, I'm the same weight as I was when I was a teenager, and I think mine right now is 18.4, 18.5, which is it just blows my mind. Anyways, and I'm nowhere near as active as I used to be. Anyway, so this anyway we calculate the select measurement. So this determines if it's metric or standard. That's all it does. And then you see, then it will run the select target value. So we can check this now. So now if I change this to standard, you see it changes pounds, inches, inches. If I go back to metric, you see it goes kilogram, centimeter, centimeter. Now, the reason I did this is I could easily have, for example, we go back to standard, I could have changed this weight to, I think it's height. I could have changed the height to feet and inches. I would have split them up here, but I didn't want to do that because it just makes it easier. But I might do that because if you notice this calculator here, if I go to standard, you see it has a height is in feet here and inches. So I might do that in the future version of this calculator, especially if it becomes an app. Okay, so with that out of the way, let me see how much time it is. Okay, time is still pretty good. So next we're going to actually grab the submit button when the form is submitted. So that's the document selector, form fit calculator, add event listener, submit. So when the submit button is clicked, I prevent the default, because if you don't do this, by default, anytime you submit a form, it will be submitted, like it will be sent. So because this is running in JavaScript, I don't want it to be submitted, so I prevent it from submitted. Then I set this variable let computer true, and then I grab the gender, and then I set, I create an object, gender, measurement, age, weight, height, waist, and activity. And then what I do is I do a for each to go through all this object, go to the keys, the gender, measurement, age, blah, blah, blah. And then what I do is I get the value. So that's why I told you, remember, if you forgot, if you go back to the form, you see each of them has like age, weight, height, waist. That's why. So that way I'm able to grab the this particular values, because these are the ones that are used for the calculations. So that's what that does down here. And then what I do is I grab the values, make sure they're not set to 0. And then you see I put the values in here, the gender, blah, 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 all those values. I put them in here. And then, so for example, if any of them are empty, I set this computer value to false, right? So when I set it to false, then that means it's not going to run. Okay, next, the last part of our of this function. Okay, you see if it says if compute, so it means that this must be true, right? So I set it to true here, and if anything goes wrong here, it will be set to false. So if it's set to false, this won't run. So, but if there are values everywhere, this will be set to true. Then we get the base, set that to 0. We check to see if the gender is female, and then if the gender is female, then the base we check to see if it's metric. If it's metric, we use this base. This is for the basal measurement, 655 plus all these numbers. I think I got this from the UN website. And then you see we have to multiply by the height, the age, etc., etc. Now, else, that means that else means that it's male. So if it's male and if it's metric, you see the numbers are different. And then you see this one. This means else. It means that it's a standard. So the standard, you see this is the values you're going to use. I'll go back to the female here. You see this will be 655. Yeah, so those are the numbers it uses. So that will be for the base. And then this is for the activities. So you multiply the level of activity, the basal rate, and then the activity rate. Remember those numbers way up here we created for the here you see the activity sedentary, light, moderate, active, and extreme. And then what else? Where was I here? Oh, yeah. So then we create the calories to lose. So we just take the integer, make them all integers. So because remember they're going to be strings. JavaScript does everything in strings, just got a little bit annoying. So we convert them into, we use parse int in integers. So we get this value minus the base value. So this is how many calories you should be able to lose according to this the calculator. Then we get the BMI. So we check to see if it's metric again. BMI is very simple. It's just simply just a weight divided by the height and this whatever number here. Else if it's standard, this is the calculation here. Then we have the once we have the BMI number to use, we will then run it into our BMI number, the function we created earlier. If you remember, that was I think one of the first. Yeah, this one here. We take the number here, then you'll see there will be a range. We need to check the range. So after the calculation, we'll check. So we want to see whether you're underweight, normal, etc. So that's what that does. And then we calculate the waist to height ratio. So this is pretty simple. It's just 100 because it's a percentage. So we take your waist divided by your height. So in order for this to work, the measurements must be the same. So meaning that if it's centimeters, it's centimeters. If it's meters, it's meters. If it's inches, it's inches. Or feet, whatever, it doesn't matter. So that's how you get your waist to height ratio. And then after that, we will check the height to waist ratio. If we go back up here, see if you're male or female, depending. So obviously, if you're in this range, you're healthy. If you're in this range, you're increased risk, and if you're in this range, there's substantial risk. So with that out of the way, that's the last one. So now with that, then we just output. I used an inner HTML just because I'm a little bit lazy and it's faster. I used the template. I used the I forget what you call this. Not squiggly. Forget what you call this character. It's the one by the to the left of number 1 on the keyboard. I forget what you call this character. Anyway, so you see I just put a div here. So I put the basal metabolic rate, BMR. On average, your body burns the calories here. Based on your daily activity level, your body should lose the calories here. And then your BMI, body mass index, the weight to category, waist to height ratio, and the waist to height ratio, again, the risk results. So that's it. So now, if we go here and run this again, I forgot. I should have to make up some number. I'm gonna use mine. So I'm a male. I'm gonna use a matrix. I think my age is see my age. Make it up. The weight. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna use standard because I can't remember. The weight is 160. The height is, this has to be inches. I need to do a calculation here. 6 times 12. 6 times 12. 72. So 74 inches. And then the waist, I don't remember. I think last time I measured it, was 28. And you know what? I do look after the chickens. So I'm going to say light exercise for now. Okay, so let's do a calculate. And you see here, so it's saying that I need 1,658 calories. On average, my body burns this many calories. I could lose. Okay. And then my body mass index is 20.54. I'm actually surprised it's that high. And the weight category is normal. And my waist to height ratio is 37.84. And my male, remember. So it says here I'm healthy. I wonder what will happen if I change this to female. I'd have the same things. I think it should also be healthy. Let me see. Yeah, so for female, you see it's way less basal metabolic rate. Almost the same calories as the guy, and then actually surprised. So she just has to lose less calories. Body mass index, the normal 37.8, so a little bit higher than I was, and if I was a female, and then you can see here it says healthy. Now you can also change this to, you see it says pounds, inches. So if you change this to matrix, they're just going to be the same. The height obviously is in kilograms. I think it's 2. I can't remember. I need to open up a calculator here. I don't want too many. So let me see, inches to centimeters. So what did I say? I was 74 inches. So it's I'll say 188. Yeah, that one I know. I'm 188. So let's go here. So this would be 188. And 28 inches is, I'll say 71. I would say 72. I'll just bump it up. 72 inches here. And then we just need to do the weight. Can we change this? Yeah. Oh, okay. So I need pounds to grams. So 160, I said 160. So that will be about 70, I'll say 73 kilograms. So 73 kilograms. Oh, this is female. Okay, so it should be about the same. Yeah, it's about the same. Is still healthy. And if we go to male, do the same thing, and yeah, it's still healthy. It's weird that you can burn that many calories. Wow, that's interesting. Wow, really? Wow, okay. I wonder, what if I was, like when I was a teenager, I was very extreme. Wondering what I would say. Oh, look at that. I'll burn this many calories. That's about right. And then I would, so this is like when I was a teenager. Obviously, I probably have to change the age here. See, I'll still be healthy. I wonder what, like, when I was, say, let's say 16. Ah, interesting. Look at that. So I'll still be healthy. So there you go. So that's the calculator. So in the next tutorial in this series, I will then show you how to replace, I'll take this calculator now that it's working, and I'll replace this one. I'll show you, how I made this one. I said this one, when you click calculate, it would take you, everything is done in PHP, but I'm saying this time it will just be done here. What I hope to do is also to have another button where it will say, you know, it have instructions how to install this on your device. So it'll be maybe an install button. Only work on Chromium browsers, and there'll be instructions for other browsers so you can install it. Normally there's a little icon here where you can click to install it. All mobile devices, you have to click, I think, add to home screen or something like that. So I think I'll do that. I'll show you how to do it next time. So we go back to the article. Quick reminder that I do have a live stream every single day. You visit ojambo.com, then you go to the watch menu, then you go to live sub menu, then you can see the current live stream and the channel. It's going to be on an approximate day and time on the future post-dated live stream topics with their channels and their date and times. Be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. If you enjoyed this, consider supporting me. You can purchase one of my WordPress plugins at ojambo.com. You can enroll in my programming courses at ojamboshop.com. You can buy my programming books on Amazon. Search for Edward Ojambo, links in the description. You can also hire me for your programming and app development needs at ojamboservices.com. And you can also become a donor at ojambo.com/donate. The donate button is also up here in the fixed header. Okay, and okay, Mohat Rat, hello man, good. Hey, so thanks for joining me today. So I'm going to stop this live stream and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. See you soon. Thank you.